Welcome, everyone, to this 19th day of September on our second podcast for today on Talented Universe. We are excited to have a guest today, but first, I'm going to say hi to our lovely other hosts that are on today. Marcia, how are you doing?
I'm doing great. It's Friday, getting ready for the weekend. It's the end of MLB season. We're going to see where our teams go. So I'm ready to chat.
You're ready to chat. Liz, how are you?
Oh, I'm doing great. Like I said earlier, our temperature is actually cooler than yours, thank goodness. So,
Yeah, lucky
yeah.
you.
Yep.
But hey, we've had 60s for the last few days, so I can't really complain that it's 90 something right now. But
It's only 78 right now. I just looked at the temperature. It's only 90. It's only 78. So
oh, well, rude
compared
of
to
you.
yesterday in the 90s, yeah, we'll take it.
Yeah, well, what can you do? You can't do anything. But before I ask questions to our guest, I need to introduce our guest. Our guest today is Braxton Angle. So happy to have you. You've been in, you said 9 verticals so far.
Correct.
Now, after you did your first vertical and you went home or talked to your friends or your parents or your siblings, and you told them that you did a vertical drama, microdrama, what the new phrases are. How, and I'm sure they gave you funny looks. How did you explain it to them what it was?
So the best shorthand I was able to come up with telling people who aren't in the industry, who don't know about it, the best phrase I came up with was a TikTok soap opera. So
concise.
Sort of quickly encapsulate, we're here and we're moving quickly and the episodes are short and they're cliffhangers and they keep you watching more. So when I was able to communicate that, they were able to have a conversation about it. But man, after I did my first one, because I had seen the posts for them for months and I was like, I don't think so. I think most actors you'll talk to are like, I really wasn't sure at first.
They weren't sure if it was real. They thought it was fake.
Yeah.
A lot of them have said that in the beginning. Yeah.
Oh yeah. I mean, it was a completely new thing around, I think it was middle end of 2023. Mm-hmm. And for a while, I didn't even submit on them because I'm like, well, we'll see how this goes. And then after a couple months, they just start flooding the casting sites, just dominating. And then the rates are going up and the characters are more interesting. And so I thought, okay, why not? I'll apply for some of these. Did a couple supporting out the gate to sort of get my feet wet. And then I thought, I've been on a couple of these. I would like to try for leads and I would actually like to do these. So it was quite an experience the first time for sure.
I can imagine. I mean, I saw them probably October of last year the first time, and I had no idea what they were. And then I found out more about them and I got so excited and I called Liz and I said, Liz, I found this new thing and it's this and that. And she just went, I know what that is. I subscribe.
And I've been into it since the original ones out of China. So
yeah, she's been with them for a long time, 3-4 years now.
Just about when China actually really started putting them out. Yeah.
Yeah. So she knew what they were. So it's well, let's see what I can do. But it took me 4 to 5 months to get my first vertical actor on because they're all so busy at that time. And I was just they kept saying they could do it. And then they kept being put off. I got other actors on board. And fortunately, the guy that I asked first ended up being my first guest because everybody else got busy. So I was happy about that. But yeah. So that is really cool that you're doing it and you have the same experience as other people have had.
Yeah. I've actually worked with a couple of the leading supporting ladies that you've interviewed. It's pretty cool.
Oh, really? Remember which ones?
Oh, of course. Yeah. Lawson, who I think was one of the first ones you did. She's awesome. Yeah. I worked with her on 2 things. Who else? So there's Lawson. There's Kelsey. I actually just watched her interview earlier this week to get a feel for it. She's awesome. And then Vanessa Nottingham, if that's how you pronounce her last name.
Yeah, Nottingham.
Yeah. So you have no trouble getting guests now, Michael. You're good.
No, I haven't. I mean, we've had 5 guests this week.
Really?
Yes, not all. I think we had one that wasn't a vertical, if I remember right.
Okay.
But
Gotcha.
four were verticals. So, and now we've got one vertical actor that's coming back next week that is producing her own film with a friend of hers, and so she's
Excellent.
talking about that. So she's excited about that. So it's like, it's fun. It's fun, and I mean, we do The Voice, we do the TV show The Ark.
Mm-hmm.
We also do the TV show The Librarian's the Next Chapter. So we keep busy. So
Gotcha.
needs to say that. But now tooting my own horn, because sadly you're episode 101 for this season.
Really?
Yeah.
Excellent.
So we had 100 was one we just did previous, and now you're at episode 101 for this year so far. So yeah, it's kind of crazy. But on that note, let's go to Marcia.
Okay.
I'll save the fun stuff for a little bit later.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Hi, Braxton.
Hi.
Well, now you originally came from Ohio, is that correct? You were born in
So I
Ohio?
graduated from school in Ohio. I'm originally from St. Louis, Missouri.
St. Louis. Okay.
Yeah.
So where are you located now? Are you?
So right now I live in Orange County. I live in Irvine, and I've lived here ever since I moved here. And it's great. I never would have thought to even look at this area to live, if not for my brother, whose full-time job as a lawyer is here. So.
So was that one of your influences in going to that particular area because you had family?
Oh yeah. Well, it felt unfair to make him drive everywhere when even if you live in LA as an actor, you're going to spend a ton of time in the car. I was just like, you know what? I'm not going to make him drive. He was still finishing law school when we first moved here. So the only thing that made sense is for me to be the one who's constantly in the car.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And in looking at your resume, I particularly had my eye on some of the rom-coms that you've done.
Okay.
which I really like a lot of females especially. But there was one where A Wedding for Belle, which is and it was directed by Lexi Giovanoli, and she has a long history in rom-coms. So how was it being directed by kind of one of the queens of rom-coms? Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Lexi's great. I didn't even know Lexi was an actor at first. It wasn't until I was signed onto the project and we had our first introductory call that she's like, yeah, I've done a lot of these kinds of movies as an actor. Now I'm transitioning to a director. And it was great for a lot of reasons. That's the most fun I've ever had shooting a feature like that. And the coolest thing is that group is a family operation. So Lexi was the director. Mm-hmm. Her fiance, Ferguson, was the DP. And then her mom, Elizabeth, is the producer, who I remember auditioning for years ago, like in 2019, before I'd even moved here. And she had given me some really great feedback. I ended up not getting that job, but she had given me some great feedback about my audition and what she's looking for, only to finally work with her and her family, 4 or 5 years later.
Yeah. And where was that filmed? Because I know they film in not really LA, I thought.
So that film was in South Carolina.
That's what I was gonna. Yeah. That's where. Yeah. And was that your first time in that area?
Oh yeah, that was my first time. We shot. I think we shot at Furman University for a lot of the scenes, like all the bell tower stuff. It's a very famous landmark at that college. And what made that really cool was the entire cast and crew was staying in an empty dorm on the campus. Oh, so neat. I know for about a month, it felt like I was back in college. Like I had a roommate and everything. And for a lot of reasons, that's the most fun I've ever had on a feature, for sure.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. How long was the shoot itself?
It was about a month. It went from early mid-June past 4th of July.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And you've done some other ones in that vein, some other rom-coms. So was that a choice for you to delve into that area?
To be honest, I just like working. I will audition for and submit for anything that I'm a fit for. But one of the things I've had a little traction with is this rom-com, genre. And what I was really happy about in that film was this was the first time I didn't play like the jerk ex-boyfriend, if you know what I mean. And I was just, and like I said, I love working, but you want to try different things. And while the character I played in A Wedding for Belle isn't, a perfect guy, he's certainly not a bad guy, and he's certainly not like the villain of the film, which I enjoyed. Funny story, like the very first one of these I did was a Christmas movie called Christmas with Felicity. And I had read for the leading role. I got down to the final two people. I chemistry tested with Sarah, who ended up getting the part. And the director is like, man, I love you. We just need a different look. You just look too mean, too like frat bro. But we love you. What about this other role? Which was, of course, the jerk ex-boyfriend who tries to show up and get the girl back. Yeah.
I have to tell you, I'm not distracted, but I'm intrigued by what's behind you. Is that an actual? Is that a picture or is that video? I'm not video, but is that?
Oh no. So I got a very limited setup here at my place, and I was trying to find somewhere that's got really good light and a somewhat interesting background. This is something that my brother picked out. This is the Hall of Mirrors at Versailles. It's one of the few pieces of art we have in this place.
Wow.
Yeah.
Now I'm even more intrigued.
There you go.
It kind of reminds me, you're on a smaller screen with me. I used to work at the Bowery Savings Bank in New York City, which is one of the oldest banks. And it's very ornate like that. Certainly not like the Palace of Versailles, but it had marble floors and it had kind of the same similar vastness. So it just intrigued me as to, have you been there?
To the Hall of Mirrors, I actually have. Yeah.
Yeah.
I was fortunate enough to, in the fall of 21, I walked in like some of the lesser shows in Fashion Week and getting to go. I was like, well, I got to get all the spots. And I was able to see the Hall of Mirrors in Versailles before the Paris show. And it's unbelievable. So cool. Even though it was pouring rain and cold and disgusting, it was still awesome.
Now, hold it. You said you walked in fashion shows?
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, do tell.
So that is kind of a one-off for me. Like, I don't have a high fashion look. And to be fair, like a high fashion body. Like, I'm a former athlete. I'm not built like the guys you see on the runways over there. And man, like, it was great. I'm really glad I did it. But I couldn't believe some of the clothes they were trying to put me in, even though they had.
Oh yeah.
Like, I'm a football player. I still have a football player's build, and like, even though my sizes are right, I'm like, these pants are not going to fit over my gigantic ass. Like, I promise you, it's just not going to happen. But it was a great experience. I'm glad I did it. I have since had 0 inquiries runway work, and that's okay. That's just it's not for me. That's okay.
Well, have you kept some of some pictures, some photos from that time of you on the runway? Of course.
Oh yeah, I've definitely kept some pictures of it. Those outfits are, what's the most diplomatic way to say it? They are
trendy,
eclectic.
Eclectic. Now I'm
word.
Really intrigued.
Okay.
Good memories, huh?
Oh my gosh, yeah. Loved it. Glad I did it. I originally wasn't going to, and then you don't get an opportunity like that. Most people don't, even in this industry in their life. So I went. It was great.
That's super. And in talking about some of your rom-com roles, which were lighter and you didn't play the jerk, you have played more serious kind of roles as well. Say one was The End of Loyalty.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Man. So that was I apologize for interrupting you, Marcia.
No, go ahead. No.
Oh, so End of Loyalty, that was the first feature film I booked when I moved to LA in May of 21. It's an action movie. It's really, really great. The director is a VFX guy primarily. He's worked on some of the biggest films you can imagine, on Transformers, on Avatar. He is unbelievable at what he does technically. And I found that out after the fact. I had originally submitted for like a supporting role, never even got a chance to tape for it. And then like 4 days before they're going to start shooting, they reach out to me and they're like, hey, we like your look. You know, you have the physical nature we need for the role. Do you want to read for Ray, the lead? I'm like, yeah, I want to read for the lead. Like, let's go. So within a couple of days, I had the part, and we're already starting to learn like choreography for the fight scenes, because it's an action movie, and it was so much fun. My goodness.
Yeah. Cool. Okay, Liz, you're up.
Oh man. Is this the hammer? You about to drop the hammer on me, Liz?
Well, I have a lot of other stuff too, but we're going to kind of go back to your starting point, shall we say.
Okay.
You were, and yes, these were some of the videos that I saw, you were a tremendous running back. I mean,
really?
and I'm a huge, huge football fan.
Excellent.
And Marcia loves it too. And so, you know, seeing that, being so extremely talented, and I know that you went to Drake University.
Yep.
And then I believe you transferred to Miami.
Yes,
Out of Ohio. Yeah, out of
go.
Ohio. But after that, you transitioned into acting.
Yeah.
What did you like acting before football? What made you make the transition? And while you explain that, I'm going to pull up something.
Oh no. Okay. Well, I'll do my best to give a great answer without, being horrified about what she's about to pull up.
Oh, relax. I'm not going to do anything mean.
I appreciate it. Okay. So my whole life growing up was football in high school, football in college. And then once,
Beware, I have stuff with more of the sats to
this
it.
is still on YouTube? My goodness.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. And the full video that she posted of it.
Oh, yeah. Well, that's what you had to do to get recruited. Just like in acting, you got to promote your own stuff so that the coaches will see it. So after I graduated from college, my whole plan was just go back and work for my parents. We have a family business in St. Louis. It's construction, specifically roofing. So I was just going to go work for them. And they said, why don't you take a year or two to just try something? Work for someone who isn't your parents. And I'd done internships, but not like long-term work of any kind that wasn't for them. And so I just get a job at, a local restaurant by my house. And I waited on a group of women who ran an agency in St. Louis, Missouri. And then once they had checked out for lunch, one of them came up to me and was like, hey, we like your look. We really like your demeanor. Have you ever thought about acting? And as politely as I could, I kind of laughed in her face. I'm like, no. Like, what? And she goes, well, if you're interested, like, here's our card. You'll come in. You'll do some cold reads. We'll see if you're any good at it. But if you're interested, like, definitely call us. So like 2 months went by and I went in and I did a commercial cold read. And they're like, oh, yeah, like, we'd love to start submitting you for jobs if you want to. I'm like, cool. And like having no expectations of like what would come of it at all. That was the fall of 2016. I did my first commercial in January of 2017, and it sort of snowballed from there. So this kind of happened to me.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, which is actually kind of amazing how kind of it all naturally unfolded. One of my big things, and this is going to be one of your acting roles, it kind of infuriated me because I kept trying to look up something. Because when I started to watch the verticals, like, I know I've seen you before. I've seen you before. And it was driving me crazy. And yes, I'm a huge Christmas fanatic movies as well. So, seeing all these things, I'm like, where have I seen you before? Because no, it wasn't this. And for relaxation and to help me sleep, and I'm one of these weird ones. I like crime stories, unsolved mysteries, and other things. That's where I had saw you from, and it was an uncredited role, as Vincent's partner, and that drove me crazy that I couldn't research the name to what I was seeing. How did you come by just getting that? Just a general casting call?
So that was really lucky. So that, for people who don't know, Unsolved Mysteries was a show that has its roots like decades ago. And then at this time, Netflix wanted to revive it, new stories, new production, stuff like that. And they were shooting one of the episodes in St. Louis, Missouri. And so they wanted local talent, submitted myself, did a self-tape, even though like uncredited, and like ended up having all my dialogue cut. I got the part. So it's a right place, right time thing. They happen to be shooting in St. Louis, and I happen to do, a good enough job on that tape to get the part. But that's so funny. I've never had anyone ask me about that ever. Well done. Yeah.
Yay, Liz.
Well done.
Thank you. Moving forward with things, now that you're doing some of the verticals and you've done some of the other, types of stuff that we see on TV, the full-length movies.
Yeah.
When you first entered into the vertical world, how different was it? Were you kind of in shock the first maybe week or so with the consumption of the amount of scripting that you had to memorize? And because it's done in such a narrow shot, in such a narrow field, that you had, was that an adjustment for you?
Oh, 100%. The only thing that helped me was that the first two parts I did were supporting. So I got to sit back and watch like, oh, this moves fast. And there's really not room to be unsure about what you want to do. Like, obviously you might get, 2 or 3 takes, but if you're not locked in and you sort of waste a take, that might be the only one they shoot. And now you've kind of like messed up the flow of an episode. So getting to see other people do them the first time, like the very first one I was on was Double Life of a Billionaire Heiress with Mark and Haley and my friend Michael. And seeing those two like go about their business and do it really helped me know what to expect. So that when I got my first lead, I was prepared and I knew what was going on. But that whole vertical thing, like being this close to somebody on the screen and in person, definitely threw me. They're like, hey, buddy, you got to move up. Like, you got to get a little bit
closer. Yeah.
Yeah. Big change in that regard.
Some of your movies you have done, even if you want to include Unsolved Mysteries, have kind of been more on the darker end, especially one that I enjoy psychological thrillers and I enjoy horror a lot. And one of the ones that I actually liked was The End of Loyalty.
Yeah.
And in fact, you were in that with one of my favorite actors, which is Michael Peoria. But actually, trivia question for you. Did you know that both of you guys have played cops? Not in this show?
So I know he played a cop in Lincoln Lawyer, the Matthew McConaughey film. Is that the one you're thinking of, or does he have a more famous cop?
Earlier.
Much earlier? Is it Streets of Fire?
Nope. Houston Nights.
Oh, okay.
Yep. That was way in the 80s. But yeah.
Yeah, Michael was excellent on there. That was the first time I got to actually do scenes with people who had worked a long time and like had a certain name. So there was Michael, like you're saying, Michael Peoria, and then Vernon Wells, who plays the villain in that. Getting to do scenes with them was great. And Michael was so funny. The first day, like, we had a scene together. He plays my father in the film, for anyone who doesn't know. We met and we're going over the scene. Then, we're going through the crafty line to get coffee. And out of nowhere, he just does his first line and is looking at me like, you going to do your part? And I'm looking around like, okay. So we're just walking around all over this, this Airbnb, just doing our lines everywhere. Whether we're like in the crafty line, like waiting to use the bathroom, he'll just start doing the lines. And I'm like, well, this is how it goes. Let's just start doing them. I'm thankful for it, but it was funny. He looked at me like I was crazy when he just says the line out of nowhere. And I'm like, oh, that's the first line of the scene. Okay, let's go.
What did you use actually to prep yourself to get into character for this?
So specifically for all the action stuff, my background as an athlete definitely helped. Because even though, like, obviously this isn't real fighting, it's more like a dance than anything. But you have to be comfortable in your body and you have to be able to communicate what you can and can't do. And because the tight turnaround on this, we would be rehearsing scenes, and we'd be rehearsing fight sequences in the morning and then shooting them in the afternoon. When the plan was the original lead who dropped out, they had been doing fight choreography for a month, like leading up to this. So yeah, my background as a football player definitely helped with with footwork and understanding like what the other person is doing and spatial awareness. That's how it helps specifically for all the fight choreography in that film. Yeah.
Oh, that's amazing.
Yeah.
I don't want to keep monopolizing, although I do have more questions for you. Marsha or Michael, do you want to take it back for a minute?
Yeah,
Can I
Marsha,
ask
go
a
ahead.
question?
Oh, sure.
Oh, sure.
Marsha, you brought up, we're about to get into playoff baseball. Who's your team?
Oh, golly, here we go.
Thank you for asking.
Uh-huh.
New York Mets.
Oh, okay. Nice.
I'm a lifelong, might as well say, Mets fan. And, through all the ups and downs. And you're a baseball fan?
So being from St. Louis, I'm obviously a Cardinal fan.
Cardinal fan.
Since I moved out here, it's so hard to keep up with the schedule and the time difference. So I haven't watched like a full Cardinal baseball game from start to finish in probably 4 years. It sucks. It's just the way it is, unfortunately.
Yeah. Well, yes, I'm an avid baseball fan.
Excellent.
And also football. We'll talk about that in a second.
Nice.
But so it is such a tenuous time of year for a lot of teams. Some teams have already clinched, Phillies, boo hiss. But
Oh, you're blaming my Dodgers, huh?
but there you go. And I following a team, even an NFL team or a MLB team, if you're a loyal fan, is fun and full of anguish at the same time. So thank you for asking, and I'm hoping that maybe on the side you can become a Mets fan and help cheer them on to at least make the wild card.
Hey, I'm happy to throw my support behind the Mets. I'm happy to do that for you, Marsha. Whatever that means, go Mets. Yeah.
You might regret that.
So
yeah,
looking,
I regretted a lot of my sports fandom.
Yeah.
So this is nothing new.
Well, you said it's something new.
No, it's nothing new.
Nothing new.
Yeah.
Well, so what is your relationship with football now, as fanish or?
So I'm really more of like a team free agent. I wish I had a team that I was like really passionate about, like you are. Just because when I grew up in St. Louis, we had the Rams, and the Rams were awesome in the late 90s, early 2000s.
Yes,
they were unbelievable. And then they started to fade early 2000s, and then they were just like borderline unwatchable. And then they left to go to LA. They went back to LA. And so at that point, I would sort of washed my hands of like rooting for a team. I was just I was pretty upset. And that sounds so ridiculous, but like we can't explain our fans,
No, it does not sound ridiculous for one particular reason. Half of the people on another one of our programs hate me because I call the Raiders the traitors, because I remember when they were still in Oakland. So, yeah, I get you.
Got you. See, you get it. Excellent. It's good to have someone to commiserate with. Not many people know what it's like to have your team up and leave you.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Yeah, or in the middle of the night. Oh yeah.
That was bad.
Yeah, it's and Michael's shaking his head because he's like, has this become a sports show?
Well, no, because I followed the Senators way back when, and then they went to Texas, so I totally get it too. So
yeah, but it's just sometimes when a person like you has played sports and been so involved in sports, is it difficult to watch rather than play, or?
Oh no. So like specifically with football is not a game you can really play past a certain age. It requires so much equipment and so many people and like specific facilities. You can't just go on the street and play pickup football, but you drive, through New York or LA, you'll see pickup basketball games all over the place. Yeah. So because that's the nature of that sport, it doesn't irk me to be like, man, I really miss playing. There's nowhere for me to go really to play it. But no, I still love watching it. People probably find me nauseating to watch football with because I care about like individual things happening. Like I'm just watching like one player. I'm not really watching like the whole game. And people are like, dude, nobody cares about that wide receivers release or the block the running back made. Nobody cares, dude. So I usually watch by myself.
See, now you would be a fun person to watch with.
He needs to
Because
come to my house.
Yeah.
I was going to say, I like
I have
watching
full
that
on,
stuff
and
too.
Marcy, you do too. I have full on Sunday parties people start arriving like at 8 o'clock in the morning and they don't leave until after the last game. And I have like 4 or 5 TVs set up with different games.
Oh yeah. That's
So,
awesome.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Michael hates me because he knows he can't get a hold of me during that time.
We've got 12 guests coming tomorrow, but she can't answer the phone.
No. Can't do it.
Well, explore. Go ahead.
Oh, I was just saying some things are more important. Sorry, Marcia.
Well, exploring the world of verticals, which I'm fairly new to as well, because Michael actually told me about it. So it was probably last October when I started watching them. Well, one of the first things that struck me is the titles.
You don't say.
Beyond ridiculous, some of them.
Yeah.
Did that strike you as well?
So not really. Yes and no. Yes, because like calling your mom and telling her she's like, oh, you're like working on something. What's the name of it? And I'm like, Finding Master Right, or My Husband is My Secret Boss. Like that initial awkwardness is like, it never gets old. But the thing is, this sort of trend of having like these really catchy and like clickbait like all these titles, this has been going on YouTube for years. So anyone who's just been watching YouTube is used to getting like completely okie doke when you click on a video and the title is like not even close to what that video
content is.
Yeah, at least the verticals deliver. Like that's the title, that's what you're going to get. So I'll give them credit in that aspect,
That's a good point. I was thinking about one of yours, which is, I think it actually has 2 different titles.
Yeah.
The Betrayed Mother.
Yep. The Divine Heiress.
Divine Heiress.
Yep.
And where you were Caleb, I think.
Correct.
So tell me about that experience.
Please. Yeah. So that's probably the most unique vertical I've worked on for a couple reasons. I've not done like a big ensemble before. And if you've seen any of those episodes, there's the female protagonist who's the mother of 7 brothers.
7, yes.
7 brothers. And like 4 of us have like 3 of us have a lot of screen time. There's a 4th guy who has a couple more lines than the rest. But like we're trying to figure out like, whose turn is it? Where are we standing? And then on top of like having that many people, you're trying, as Liz said, you're trying to get into a frame this big, crazy. There was also like crazy special effects in this. So I've never done like one of the werewolf verticals. So I have no experience with like seeing them come to life. But the lead brother was like Thor, and he's riding horses and he's slaying dragons. And the 3rd brother is like a sorcerer. So a lot of aspects that I had never even seen like attempted in a vertical before showed up in that project. And a lot of it worked and it was a ton of fun. But it was crazy. It was unlike any of the other ones I've ever done.
And was that shot in LA or?
Yeah, that was shot in LA. Oh yeah. Most of that was shot in like this really old house, like going up the hill in Griffith Park. And the house literally looks like a castle. Like straight up, you drive and be like, oh yeah, that's what a castle would look like right here, like dropped in LA. It was pretty sweet. I'd never seen, location like that. Yeah.
And that project made me think of period pieces where is period pieces with maybe some swashbuckling and some that kind of action. Is that something I haven't seen you in yet?
Yeah, I haven't. I've seen a couple of them on the casting sites, and I've read for a couple of them as well. I haven't seen them as much lately. I'd obviously love to do it. I don't know. I think they might be shying away from it from a production value standpoint, because if you're going to do a period piece, I can't bring my own wardrobe. You know, like everyone's got to be fitted up, and that takes time and money and manpower. So unless those are like really clicking and doing numbers, I'm not shocked if they're not, you know, making more of those. I would love to do it if the opportunity presents itself to formally answer the question. I just don't know how many more shots we're going to get at it.
But you'd be ready for that.
Oh yeah. 100%. Yeah. That would be so fun.
And speaking of the period pieces, British accents pop into my mind when I think of, you know, old England and whatnot. Do you do many accents?
So I've done 2 accents before. Actually, one for a vertical, and I was playing this Russian guy. It was a vertical for real short called Finding Master Right. It was one of the first ones I was ever on, and there were 3 male characters. Obviously, you've got the primary lead, and you have his 2 friends. And I played Constantine, this Russian wild card that really liked to be a jerk to the lead, even though they're good friends. And I had so much fun.
Mildly.
Yeah, to put it mildly is right. But man, that was so much fun. And at first, I said no. I actually said no because I didn't think I could do the accent. I didn't even do a tape, even though they requested it. But then they're like, no, please, like we want you to do it. Just try. And so I spent a couple hours working it, and they loved it. So I have no idea if it's accurate, if I sound like a Russian person. If they're happy, I'm happy.
Sold them.
Well, good. Yeah, that's exactly right.
Okay, well, I think we're going to go back to Liz.
Oh, okay. Question for you. You have played multiple different characters and roles in different type of movies. So what do you think would be your favorite to do? A drama, a psychological thriller, or like a rom-com?
I would say probably a straight rom-com where I'm the lead guy who gets to win, who gets the girl.
Okay.
Haven't done it before. And you know, there are a couple verticals like that, but like, you know, I just haven't gotten a chance to do it right down the line like that to where it's, you know, lead, is he going to get the girl? He gets the girl. Everyone's happy. That's what I'd really like to do. I'd like to do one of those for sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
And one other thinking question. What would be your dream role or dream actor to work with? Whether it's on the big screen, little screen, whatever.
My all-time favorite actor is Jack Nicholson, and he doesn't work anymore. Like Jack is the GOAT. Jack's the best in my opinion to ever do it. So any like perfect world, like get to make a wish, Jack Nicholson, 100%. Yeah.
I like that answer a lot. I know we're starting to kind of wrap things up, so I wanted to say, if I don't get a chance to talk to you again, thank you so much for doing this. And we really appreciate, you know, you taking your time to join us. And I loved some of the information that you gave. So thank you again.
Happy to do it. This was great.
No, I'm glad. Marcia, did you want to?
Yeah, I wanted to ask you, when you are tired from going, you've been on the set, you're ready to come home, you're hungry, really hungry, what is your go-to?
This is great. I would say my go-to food is just the closest burger I can get my hands on. There's a particular place not far from me in Newport Beach called The Stand. I think they have some of those locations in LA and all over California.
They do.
The Stand has a French onion burger that is unbelievable. That might sound so weird, but it's excellent. Like whenever, if you know, especially if I wrap one, I'm like, man, this was a good job. Like I can go treat myself to a French onion burger at The Stand. That's my answer.
Lovely. All right. Well, I too want to thank you for being with us. And you have I know maybe you haven't been to New York, but you have a little New York in your clip, in your
oh really
voice. Yeah.
Interesting.
So if you haven't done a New York accent, you've almost got it. So
really? Okay. I've never heard that before. That's awesome. Thank you. Never heard that.
Yeah. But thank you, Braxton.
Of course. Go Mets.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Awesome.
And I just like to thank people in the chat room that didn't say anything, but they were there. And we got some likes from Bobby Nash, Abigail Dawid Zich, sorry, and Roger Noriega. So thank you very much for those likes. And we're probably going to be wrapping it up now. Is there anything, Braxton, that you want to mention? A project coming up or anything that we didn't touch on, that we didn't find or whatever? Yeah.
Oh yeah, I have two. So I've got a vertical coming out on Real Short on September 30th. It's the one I did with Kelsey.
Oh, okay.
It's called, I haven't figured out a good term for these, but you know the verticals that are just like sad all the way through? It's one of those. My Dear Daughter, Love Me Once More.
Oh.
Yeah. Oh is right. Yeah. And then the second one I'd love to shout out is it'll be coming out around Halloween. I think it's going to be just like video on demand. It's a thriller that I shot in Canada. It's the third of a 3-part series called De-Influencer, talking about this this murderer who uses social media to commit his crimes and recruit followers. It was really interesting. I had a great time doing it. It's the same producer that made the action movie I did, End of Loyalty. So getting an assignment again is always great.
Yeah, I saw that and I'm like, ooh, goody, another one.
Yep. Right around Halloween. Right around Halloween, it'll be out.
All right.
Well, that's something to look forward to. So, I would like to thank you, Braxton, on behalf of everybody at NDB Media and Talented Universe for coming on with us. Thank you. And hopefully you'll come back again if you've got a new project or if you just want to talk baseball.
Oh, yeah.
Football, you know,
I'm happy to make time. And one of these times I'll come back with some social media because I just feel, I feel so bad. I was like, man, I'd love to do it. I'm happy to do it. So we'll do this. Don't have me back on until I've got that so I can promote it and help you guys out. Okay.
Oh, no problem. That's a deal. That's a deal. But we'd like to come on even if you decide you don't want to step in that pond or not.
Yeah.
So we'd still love to have you back. So don't worry about that. But so on behalf of NDB Media and Talented Universe, everyone, see you next time. Bye-bye.
Bye.